Okay. Hi, I'm Joy Kirr, and I'm from Chicagoland, Illinois. And I want everybody here, I would love it if you would introduce yourselves. And then the reason we're here is to talk about issues that I've been having. I know I tweeted out a picture of something a student wrote, and it's been bothering me since he wrote it, and I just need to try and encourage more kids to I don't know, it's just been bothering me, so I'll read it when it comes up to my turn. But can you introduce yourself and tell us maybe some issues that you've been having with Genius Hour and maybe how you've tried to overcome them or just a blanket statement and then we'll go on from there and try and help each other out. You want to start from the left? Let's go with Charlene.
I'm on the right of my screen.
Sorry.
Yeah, your post on Twitter just kind of resonated with me in the sense that there seems to be a certain segment of the population that is really difficult to reach and to inspire into wanting to take responsibility or control of some of their own work. And I have kind of my own thoughts about why that takes place. And everything from having been fed everything from the get-go so they don't know how to get outside of their box, to just not understanding what kinds of things they want to do. And so I'm interested in finding out ways that we can help them develop that inspiration within themselves to want to be creative.
Denise.
Okay. I'm Denise Krebs, and I am currently teaching kindergartners. So I have definite issues with Genius Hour here. Um, I guess yeah, that's all I'll say right now. I used to teach junior high, and I love Genius Hour with them, and I did have some of these issues that we're talking about, but now I'm with kindergarten in Bahrain. My husband and I live and work here now.
So glad you woke up for us. Elizabeth?
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
All right, cool. Because my microphone was off for a while. Hi, I'm Liz. I'm from Chicago originally, and now I live in Arizona. And I just started Genius Hour this year, and it was the greatest thing I did this year, and also one of the most frustrating things. I think just working with a new group of kids and working with some new challenges and having really, really large classes. I have classes ranging, I think my smallest was 32 and my biggest was 44.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, so it's hard to, and it's with multiple levels, and we've got independent studies wrapped in there. I teach Latin, so, I have all sorts of things going on at once, and it's hard to keep kids accountable with my schedule, too, because I coach. I'm usually not there on Genius Hour days for some of my classes, and that doesn't work well with kids, so I've tried a number of different things to try and keep them accountable. And for a lot of the kids it worked, and for some it didn't. So I'm just here to pick up new ideas.
Okay. Hi. Gallit.
Hi, I'm Gallit, and I live in Surrey, which is a suburb of Vancouver. I'm in Canada, and you and I have worked together for a while, and we did Genius Hour for the last few years together. But this year I haven't been in the classroom, so I've been teaching adults at university in the teacher program. But I did try Genius Hour with a group of adults recently, and I think I had more issues with the adults than I actually ever did with kids. So the issues I had with adults was that most of them saw that time as just they used it to chat with their colleagues rather than work on a Genius Hour project. But I totally understood that too, because it was a professional development day, and that those conversations with colleagues are so important. So I get it. But yeah, I guess even with grown-ups, you still get the odd ones that have a hard time staying focused.
Teachers are the worst students.
Yeah.
Hugh.
Hello. I teach in Surrey, British Columbia, but actually live in another suburb, Langley, British Columbia. I have missed Gallit a lot this year, but that's fine. deadlines, the fine balance between that. I know I find that if I give a deadline for something, I find kids just sort of leave at the last minute, and then because I'm a bit like that, and then we'll try to cram everything in, and it doesn't turn out nearly as well. And then I get kids when I say, okay, you sort of get to decide, but I'm going to be doing the check-ins and stuff. And when they do that, they sort of, some are very motivated and use their deadlines for, like, they set their own deadlines, but others just struggle mightily with that. And something that would take them probably 3 weeks or 4 weeks would take them sometimes 6 or 7 weeks, just because they know that they can float a little bit. So I guess my question, my struggle is, how do you identify the kids that need a bit more of that push to sort of find their own deadlines, and do we need deadlines at all? Even?
Yeah, good questions. Joel?
Hi, I'm Joel from Danbury, Connecticut. This is my second year trying Genius Hour in the class, and this year we actually implemented something that really plays into Genius Hour. We created a class called Pt.1, which is basically a total project-based class, and part of the year has been dedicated to total project-based units, and my wife's telling me I'm too loud right now. We've had 3 different cycles though where we've given the kids Genius Hour options, and I'm seeing a lot of the things that you are seeing as well, as far as some of the kids are really deadline driven, and other kids understand how much time we're giving them, and then they really understand how to spread the work out, so they have a lot of social time and then a little work time in there, and I think that's what I'm struggling with too. It's a big time differentiated piece where I have to understand who I have to meet up with daily, who I can touch up with weekly, and who I need to really get in, kind of be a little bit more hands-on. So it's kind of what I'm fooling around with now.
Yeah. Who else has to deal with that? I feel like it's, my husband says you can't get everybody to buy into this, and I understand that because we have people in this world who aren't self-motivated. We have people in this world who will live with their parents as long as they can, but I still struggle because I feel like, I don't know, maybe because I am intrinsically motivated, I feel like everybody else should be, and I know that's wrong. But let me share with you the note from my student one more time, just because every time I look at it, I just want to do something and I don't know what it is. It was a reflection on what we've been doing the past few weeks, and he says, I've been wasting my time, I have done nothing productive and just messed around. And so they know this. They know what they're doing, they know what's going on, they know that they're taking advantage of the time. I have no project, no goals, because there's nothing I want to do. That resonated with me too. Not a thing, he says. In my opinion, I would like to learn by the teacher, not on our own. So, yeah. I know not everything's for everybody, and not, reading aloud isn't for every kid, maybe. Maybe, I know math and science and everything isn't for everybody, but I feel like this should be, and am I wrong to think that? I don't.
I guess the big question I have is it just that this student has not discovered what they're passionate about?
So this question, oh, go ahead.
We haven't been able to open the right door for them. I was thinking today, looking through your document that you shared with us, which was great, Joy, is, there's a lot of tinkering, making kinds of things, but some kids, they live in their heads, they don't want to build something. So then I started looking for stuff about word plays and, written things that kids could do that can be very productive, that don't require a hands-on kind of effort. And so, maybe some of these kids, it's just that we're not sparking the right thing within them.
Right. Keep
Yeah,
going.
I would agree with Charlene there, definitely. I know some of the struggles some of my reluctant learners have is being able to identify what they can do, almost like they're afraid to jump and try something. So the easy way out is saying, I don't know. And then that becomes us trying to ask the right question or spark the right interest. For me, I generally just start, what do you do at home? And then I sort of jump from there. What do you like doing at home? What do you watch on TV? Do you play on sports? When you're alone, you want to do something you like doing, you go ride your bike, and then just sort of play off of that. That's usually the angle I take. Not always the best angle, but it's generally you get a good insight into what the kid is like outside of that, and then being able to just say, you know what, it's okay. I would like to see more of that from you.
Because I think a lot of the time they separate what they're passionate about from school. And they think that once I get into this school environment, I can't enjoy doing something and be in school at the same time. So it kind of it's tough for them at first to kind of get in their minds that, hey, I have to put these two together. They're giving me that freedom to choose something that I'm passionate about, and it doesn't have to necessarily be something curriculum-based, something school-based, and they don't necessarily, some kids just don't necessarily trust, even if they have a connection with the teacher, they just don't have that trust that, hey, this person really wants me to choose something that I like to do. And I think that's something that's tough as well.
Or their self-belief that they can.
Yeah, I think that's a big part too, that self-belief. I think for so many of them, it goes back to like previous years where they have been taught to do school a certain way, and they know how to be successful with that. Like when the kid says, I just want to do the teacher thing, or whatever his words were for that, right? They've learned how to be successful doing the teacher thing. They know how to play the game. They know how to get the right answer. And so it's harder when you say, I don't want the right answer, I want the right question, right? And so it's like a totally different way of thinking, I think, for children. And some will adapt quickly, and we see how successful they are. And some of them, I wonder if it's just going to take more time for them to kind of undo what they've learned in the previous years, or being exposed to in the previous years.
Exactly, I think.
It's harder to ask questions and take risks than to find the right answer, right?
Has anyone started off their Genius Hour with talking about how to create questions? Just kind of came to mind.
Yeah.
I know in English.
Yeah, I have a bit. I came across a graphic. I have it with me right now. I have to go digging for it, but it was sort of a questioning graphic, and it started off like what kind of questions you would ask. Like even if you were, it's not even specifically related to Genius Hour, but like the robot type questions. Like if you weren't listening, you could ask that question of anybody. Like you could sit there for 5 minutes, listen to somebody, and then ask that question, but you weren't really listening. It's just surface level stuff. And so that was they called it a robot question. Another one was I think it was a judge. You force the person to make a judgment on whatever. So like an opinion based on it. And so we've done it like in a lot of our literature circles, and in anything we've been really focusing on that, or inventor type questions, and just really trying to get them to sort of see that, when you're sitting there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you're expected. Right? So whenever we have discussions about what we've learned, it's as much about the kid that's presenting, but it's also about the audience that's listening. I think. But I'll have to try to find that graphic. I'll maybe even take a picture of it when I'm at school tomorrow, because I have it up on my wall. And it's really, really handy to have out there, especially if you ask the kids what kind of questions are they asking themselves.